Good evening, guys. Tonight you're going to learn how to factor trinomials in which there is a 1 right here in front of this x squared. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so go ahead and title this Factoring x squared plus bx plus c. Your essential question you're going to be able to answer is, how do I factor a trinomial? All right. Just going to dive straight into this, and we're going to first look at two scenarios, one when c is positive and then when c is negative. I prefer the box method, so when I'm going through the box method, I like my organization, and here's what we have going on with our box method. Again, this shows after the distributive property, after your FOIL, what you get. You know for sure that this value right here is x squared, and this value right here is 1. You're trying to decide what are these two values added up together, have to equal 2x. They have to equal 2x right here. All right, I call this the diamond method. So right here, I know that the two values I'm looking for must add up to 2 and must also multiply to 1. I'm pulling this 1 right here from there. Okay, so what two values add up to 2 and multiply to 1? That's 1 and 1. So I figured out what to put inside my two missing box. So I know I have 1x and another 1x from my diamond method. 1x, 1x. All right, so our factored polynomial is x times x, because that's how you get x squared. The only way you get that x squared, plus 1, because 1 times 1 is the only way you can get 1, and 1 plus 1 is the only way you can get 2. So we have x plus 1 times x plus 1 is our factored form. We usually actually only write this as x plus 1 squared because it's the same thing. Again, number 2. Let's go ahead and do this again. All right, so in our box, I prefer the box method. We have x squared, we have 8, and these two remaining values must add up to equal 9x. So I'm going to go through and do my diamond method. Instead of guessing and checking, some of us can guess and check. We're looking for what adds up to 9, but also multiplies to 8. The only two things that add up to 9, but also multiply to 8 are 8 and 1. So our factored form is 8x, 1x. So x times x is the only way you get x squared right here in the middle. 8 times x is the only way to get 8x. X times 1 is the only way to get 1x, and 1 times 8 is the only way to get x. So this factored is x plus 1 times x plus 8. All right, number 3. We have in our box y squared and 8. We're trying to figure out what adds up to 6 but also multiplies to 8. Adds up to 6, multiplies to 8. The only two things that do that are 4 and 2. Great, we factored it. We know this one's y times y is y squared. We have 4. 4 times y is 4y. We have 2. 4 times 2 is 2y. And our factored form is y plus 2, y plus 4. Great. You guys, go ahead and try number 4. When you're ready to resume, go ahead and press that play button. I will let you know what your answer is. All right, thanks for pausing that video. You should have been thinking, after you filled in your box, what adds to 11 but also multiplies to 24? Adds to 11, multiplies to 24. The only thing you should get is 8 and 3. So when you filled in your box, you should have got x plus 8 and x plus 3. Awesome. Let's go ahead and look at our second problems, and that is when c is negative. We'll go back. We're going to skip those ones before, just for time's sake. When c is negative, So right here is what we're talking about. This says negative 15. So in our box, here's what happened. We fill in our information. We have x squared. And we know that this one now has to say negative 15. All right, filling in our diamond. We know that this must add up to 2, but also must now multiply to negative 15. Okay, we're pondering, what adds up to 2 but multiplies to 15? We know at least one of these values must be negative in order for it to be a negative answer. So let's see here. Add up to 2, multiply to 15. The only two numbers that multiply to 15 are 3 and 5. So how can I get them to add up to 2? If 3 is negative and 5 is positive, that's the only way we can get them add up to positive 2 and multiply to a negative 5. So we're going to go ahead and fill in the rest of our box. We know that this one must say 3x, and this one must say 5x. So our factored form is x plus 5 times x minus 3. All right, I'm running out of space here, so I'm going to try and make number 9 a little bit smaller. Okay, we have, in our box, we have y squared, we have negative 30. We know our diamond needs to say what adds up to 13 and multiplies to negative 30. Multiplies to negative 30. The only thing that comes to mind when I'm thinking about this one would be 15 and 2. 15 and 2. Those go up to 30 for sure. But which one has to be negative? This 2 has to be negative because the addition is smaller than 15. So our factored form is x plus 15 and x, oh sorry, this is supposed to say y. We're not talking about x's here. And y minus 2. All right, last problem before I let you move on to trying some problems on your own and taking that checkpoint. As I promised, I would try to make these between 7 to 10 minutes long, and I'm pushing it here. Okay, our last problem before you do your checkpoint, we're going to look at number 10. We have inside our box, we have v squared, we have negative 20. All right, our diamond tells us that we will have what times what gets you 20, but adding it together gets you 1. Ooh, this is maybe a little bit complicated, maybe not. Maybe not. It's 4 and 5, okay? But what one will be the negative one? Oh, this is supposed to be negative 20. There we go. Which one will be the negative one? Obviously, it has to be 4 in order for the answer to be a positive 1. So our factored form is x minus 4 times x plus 5. And I didn't state this earlier. It doesn't matter which binomial you put first, because remember, you can move around multiplication problems and they mean the same thing. That's that commutative property. So it does not matter what order you put these in. It does matter that you have, for problem number 8, 5 and negative 3. Number 9, it does matter that you have a positive 15 and a negative 2. And number 10, it does matter that you have a negative 4 and a positive 5. All right, here's your question on your own. When you're ready to, your 2 questions on your own. When you're ready to receive your feedback on your answers, go ahead and press play and make sure you always answer that essential question. All right, for problem number 1, you should have gotten x minus 5 times x plus 3. And for number 2, you should got x plus 5 times x minus 3. All right, that's how you can kind of tell the difference of which one's the bigger one. All right, guys, thanks for jotting down your notes, and I appreciate all your hard work you do. See you tomorrow. Bye.